Hey guys, and welcome to the 6th Ranger. Today I wanted to do something slightly different. With the release of Power Rangers issue 8 last week, there was a few points that I wanted to discuss. A few theories that I would like to share with you guys and have your feedback in the comments, because theories through comic books are one of my favourite things to do. They're a much smaller audience in comparison to films. So I tend to find that the theories coming from comic book fans are a lot more detailed and often even more accurate, because I tend to find that the fans that are into the comic books are the hardcore fans. Everyone's seen the Power Rangers TV show. Most people of the right age have seen the movie. So the comic books tend to just be for the big fans, the hardcore fans, like myself. So I have some theories I want to discuss, and I would love to continue the discussion in the comments down below. I was going to do this as a live video to have some live interaction with you guys, but I'm yet to do anything live on this channel, as I'm not sure if you guys would enjoy that sort of thing. So again, if you want to see live videos, let me know in the comments. So the main thing I wanted to talk about today, which you've probably already grasped from the title of this video, is more about the path and the character arc of Lord Drakkon. Now, we all know that Drakkon was arguably the worst / best villain that Power Rangers ever had. He killed many Power Rangers. He traveled through different dimensions, alternate realities, and killed all these strong teams, taking their powers for himself and creating an army using power coins and different morphers, and powering himself up using these morphers. So he is, in my opinion, the best villain that the Power Rangers universe has ever had, and I would love to see him in live action. And if the rumours are true, we may be getting that from Hasbro sometime soon. If you guys don't follow Jonathan Entwistle on Instagram, he did tease very recently that the film that he is working on, he is directing the live action reboot, it may feature Lord Drakkon. If not, definitely Tommy Oliver in some form. Now, in the last 8 issues of Power Rangers, Lord Drakkon has come somewhat of a helper to the Power Rangers. Not the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, mind you, the Omega Rangers. So Jason Lee Scott, Trini Kwan, and Zach Taylor. The 3 of them have been off on an interstellar space mission to save the world from the Imperials, these super bad guys that basically destroy planets. Quite the threat. Now, the only person that they know of that had come face to face with the Imperials before was Lord Drakkon. So they stole him from his imprisonment at the command center under the watch of Zordon to help them on their mission, seeing it as the greater importance in this scenario. Now, Lord Drakkon he's been with them for their missions and their adventures over the last 8 issues. Now, there's been a constant unease when he's around. Is he going to lead them somewhere he shouldn't? Is he going to stab them in the back? Is he going to try to kill them? These are all worst case scenarios, but being one of the worst villains that Power Rangers have ever faced, this is all very likely. He is the evil version of Tommy Oliver. Not really someone you want to be sharing a sleeping quarters with. Now, on the flip side of that, Drakkon has been there when he's been needed. He has saved the Rangers from various dangers. I didn't mean to do that. But in one of the recent issues, it was mentioned very briefly in passing that in order to reach their full strength in this battle against the Imperials, they could really do with a full team. Now, they currently have the red, black, and yellow Omega Rangers, but they're missing a blue. And it was brought up that Drakkon could in fact play that part. The way it was referenced was in a bit of a joke, where when they mentioned that they need a Blue Ranger, Drakkon responded by saying something along the lines of, "Blue isn't really my colour, but..." And he was cut off with one of the Rangers saying, "No chance." But I can see this story lead into a situation where the Rangers are in such a desperate situation that they need to have a 4th Ranger. And who better than Lord Drakkon? We know that Tommy Oliver is one of, if not the greatest Ranger of all time. Now, although this version of Tommy had some different choices earlier on in his life which led him to a path of evil, he's still Tommy Oliver. There is still good in him. There must be. Otherwise, he would not be the same person. I think if he sees the ability to redeem himself, he sees perhaps an opportunity for friendship. Because that's essentially why he turned to evil in the first place, right? He didn't see that he had friends. He didn't think that they were there for him. He thought he had lost that opportunity, and he turned to evil. I think what will happen, and this is my theory, again, correct me if you think I'm way off the mark, I think Drakkon will end up in a situation where he is in great danger, and the other Rangers have to sacrifice something or risk something to save him. He will then have the thought of, oh, they care? Like, are we friends? And I think this will maybe start changing his mindset, and then the reverse will happen, where he is in a situation where he has to save them. I think he will do that. He will save one of them, maybe risking everything, maybe even sacrificing his life. If he survives and he saves them, I think he will be rewarded with an official place on the team as a Blue Ranger. I personally would like to see him as the Green Omega Ranger, but I'm not sure if that's going to happen or if it will have to be blue. But that's the way I'm seeing this going. Now, there have obviously been lots of talks over the past few months of this being a thing. Will Lord Drakkon become good again? And a lot of the responses I've been seeing from you guys, from fans, from, comic book readers, is not every villain needs a redemption arc. And I 100% agree. You have classic villains, let's say the Joker, one of the most iconic and classic villains of all time. He doesn't ever need to be given a redemption arc, but yet movies are trying to almost get us to sympathize with him, making him the hero of a dark story, if that makes sense. Like the latest movie, The Joker. Although we see that the Joker is still evil, it does make the audience sympathize and understand why he gets there, almost making him the hero of that story, which again, it doesn't need to be the case. The Joker is just one of the most crazy, evil characters that we've ever had in comic book or entertainment history. Lord Drakkon is that for Power Rangers. He has become, in a very small space of time, iconic. And again, I'll repeat myself again, one of, if not the best villain from the Power Rangers franchise. In fact, I'm not even going to say one of. He is the greatest villain ever. If the comic books, which again is where the character originated, if they turn him into a hero and they redeem him, does that take away from his villainous arc? Would he no longer be the greatest villain ever? This is something I find very interesting, and to be honest with you, I wouldn't want to be one of the writers in control of Drakkon's arc right now, because, like I said, they've created this iconic villain, and if they take him down this arc of redemption, he then just becomes another hero. Almost a Tommy Oliver that we know. When Mighty Morphin Power Rangers was the only Power Rangers show we knew, and not many people will argue that the Green Ranger is the greatest villain that the Mighty Morphin team faced. Obviously, at the end of that 3-4 episode arc, Tommy, is freed from his spell, freed from Rita's control, and becomes a key member of the Ranger team, eventually becoming its leader. If they do that same thing with Drakkon, he's just followed Tommy's arc in a longer and more impactful stretch. So rather than just fighting the Rangers and giving them a hard time, destroying the command center a bit, he's killed hundreds and hundreds of Rangers and then been redeemed. I don't necessarily think that is needed. I would rather keep him as this sort of character that he is now. He's this anti-hero. He's still a bad dude. He still is more than happy to kill for what he needs. He's kind of like a Wolverine. He will kill, but he gets the job done. He's almost fighting for the right cause, but in a bad way. That would be how I would take this character. He would be the perfect sort of Wolverine to the Power Rangers, like the Wolverine is to the X-Men. He's on their side, but he doesn't agree with their beliefs, and he is willing to do what is necessary. I absolutely think that would make for a much more adult and a much stronger story for Power Rangers, not only for the comic books, but leading into whatever live action things Hasbro want to do. Whether they want to do an animation, an anime, a series based for adults. There was rumours that Hasbro were focusing on content not only for kids, but for adults as well, which obviously is music to my ears. But if they do this with Drakkon, it makes for a perfect setting. An anti-hero character is very fashionable. Deadpool, Wolverine, Venom. These characters are all in fashion, so to say. So that's how I would take it. Again, I think it will be a whole redemption arc and he will eventually end up becoming a Blue Ranger. But if it was me writing these comics, I would keep him as an anti-hero. I would keep him as the one willing to do whatever is needed to get the job done. Not only is it badass, but it also adds an element of comedy to the comics, to the character. His the sort of juxtaposition between the Rangers, even though the Omega Rangers are slightly more badass than the Mighty Morphin Rangers, breaking a bad guy out of prison to help them, the juxtaposition of them wanting to do whatever is right versus Drakkon wanted to do whatever is needed is very different, and the kind of battle between them fighting over what should and needs to be done does make for some humour, and humour is very important in longevity in these sort of stories. especially when dealing with such dark material like destroying planets and billions of lives. Anyway, that's just something I wanted to discuss with you guys today. It's a little theory slash prediction for what I think will be happening in the comics, I suppose, slash hope. I really want to know what you guys think of that. Let me know what you think of what I think will happen and what I want to happen and what you guys think and want to happen. Again, Drakkon is a very, very, very interesting and deep character that I hope they continue to expand on in whatever direction he goes, good or evil, or straight down the middle. Also, Hasbro, give us a Drakkon helmet, because he's one of the coolest helmets ever, and I'd pay the big bucks for that. Again, guys, if you aren't reading Boom Studios comics, make sure you pick them up. They have a few series going on with them right now. There's the Power Rangers series, there's the Mighty Morphin series. They also have Power Rangers Unlimited, which they recently released one, Edge of Darkness, featuring the Phantom Ranger and a backstory for him. Super epic comic. It was really, really enjoyable, so definitely go and pick that up. I personally get the hard copy and digital copies. These for my collection, digital ones to read while I'm in work. So, yeah. Do it. Again, guys, thank you all so much for the support you've given this channel over the last 7 or 8 months. It's been fun, and I can't wait to continue growing it. The next stage now for the channel is the live action videos, which we are funding through Patreon. So if you want to support those, check us out on Patreon at the 6th Ranger. You can support on lots of different tiers. There's some cool benefits on there too. Again, thank you all so much for your time in watching this video. I hope you have a great day. May the power protect you, and I will see you next time on the 6th Ranger.